we got Kevin Samuels here. The winos begged. This your camera?
That's my camera?
Yes.
All right, that's my camera.
You have your own personal camera. They begged for this.
Okay.
I mean, I get DMs. They're like, Tasha, Kevin Samuels. And I remember, like, I watched you years ago. Mm-hmm. This is before you got, like, really big. And then when I saw you, I was like, oh, he done. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I like it. And I do have to say, the camera doesn't do you justice. The pictures don't do you justice. You look absolutely amazing. And I did tell you that when you came here, so I am not pandering to you.
Yes, you did. She said, first thing you said is, oh, you're really tall.
I was like, you're tall, am I short? But everybody tells me because I look big on camera. They're like, oh my God, you're so short. And I'm like, whatever. Anyway, but welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for sitting in traffic.
Oh, my pleasure. I was excited to come do this one. I mean, as I was saying that all this overnight success has happened, but I really wanted to make sure that I like people who do work, and I've watched your platform grow.
Thank you.
So I was like, well, if I'm going to sit down, and I want to sit down with the people who are putting in the kind of work that I admire. Because you know how it is to be on that side of the camera versus this side. So, yeah, let's get to it.
Yeah, we're going to get right into it. But first, okay, because you're in the wine cellar, we have some wine. Have you ever drank the Shannon Ridge? It's a Petit Shiraz.
No, I haven't.
Okay, well, you going to try it today?
Sure.
I wish I had my Bordeaux glasses out, but we got these. I'm going to let you, since you are the guest, do the tasting. What you smell?
Petit Shiraz. Where's this from?
This is Lake County, California. Yeah, Lake County. Yeah, 1996, yeah. You like it? If you don't, look around. Because you are, have you told your viewers that you are a sommelier? Like
they know. I mean, I sound like no offense to the Jamaicans. I sound like a Jamaican. I've done a lot of stuff.
Me too.
But that's how I got into sales, is working at the Pappas Corporation as a head waiter and a sommelier for the Pappas Corporation.
Oh my God. So you were in the service industry as well?
Yes.
I got my wine knowledge. I was getting drunk on the shift and I'm playing.
You
like it?
I do.
Okay. All right, let me go ahead and pour my guest up. Now, first, listen, I'm just going to jump right into it. After a certain situation that we had go down on the channel a few weeks ago. Okay. Everybody was in my DM. Please, Tasha, get his ass. And I'm like, why? Mm-hmm. He's telling the truth. I grew up with all men. I have 4 cousins who are my brothers. Okay. And everything that you've preached, that's everything that they taught me.
Okay. And which is funny because I grew up with all women.
Really?
My mother, her 2 sisters had no children, and my grandmother. My father has 11, 13 of us. I really don't know how many kids my father has. Let me get close to the mic. So growing up in the 70s, I heard the women's point of view. Over and over and over and over again. And so I've talked to men for the most part of my career, but growing up with women, hearing how women talk when they smoking and drinking and playing Al Green and chicken is fried, I'm like, well, you get the truth behind the scenes. And the way men and women think are really different. And I think the stuff that I'm saying is the stuff that guys are like, they said in the barbershop, on the basketball court. But it used to be okay to say it, but we went to sleep and woke up, and now we got this cancel culture. And the bottom line is this. We pay the price when we're not together as a group. And for us Black folks, more than anything else, we have such a fractured family, and our situation ain't like it was when I remember growing up. So I don't say the stuff that I say, the salacious stuff, the stuff that gets clipped. It's never to hurt. But it's the stuff that obviously gets clicks and gets views. But if people would take a chance to just sit down and watch a broadcast from end to end and just sit down in good faith and try to hear, they'd probably be shocked that they may agree with more than they disagree with.
One thing that I love, and I get dragged about it on my channel, is you being absolute honest with our sisters. Because it's so irritating these days. I try to wrap my mind around it, and I hear them. They come for me on the internet like, "How you get a husband?" And I'm like, first of all, I don't pander to men. Right. I've never been that type. Right. I've never been that pick me type. I've always been myself. I've always embraced myself, whether short hair, no makeup. I'm not, you look great, by the way, but listen, I just got my first Louis bag. You know what I'm saying? I'm a country girl. You know what I'm saying?
Believe it or not, I am too. I cannot tell. I'm country bougie.
Okay.
I'm from Oklahoma.
Wow.
And my family is military and then factory workers.
See, I'm a military brat as well. Yeah.
That's why I respect work. Mm-hmm. But one thing that my grandparents, they worked for, she was the domestic, so she worked for this Jewish family. Shouldn't say that word on the algorithm. But anyway.
It's okay.
So anyway.
You didn't say anything wrong.
So I grew up with people we were poor, but I didn't know we were poor. But they moved in a different way. They pushed us they pushed school and pushed, you are part of the Samuels family and you have a reputation to uphold. So I got a chance to be exposed to things by going to different parts of town, but then I still had to go back to the projects. So even when I'm doing all this stuff later on in my life, I still remember I like a 2-piece and biscuit. I like fried catfish. I'm much more of a hot sauce.
You eat fish and grits?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Then you Southern then.
I'm very Southern. And the thing is, I say country bougie. I like all that stuff, but if I don't have it, it didn't define me, but I do like it. So I don't ever try to get too full and say, well, you got to be this way. I don't expect people to be like me. I expect folks to be the best version of themselves and then let life come to you. So, but yeah, most people really don't watch it. They watch what the clips, which is, it's clips.
It amazes me, not to say I'm never trying to discourage women from coming on your platform, but the ones that do. And it's like, girl, what are you doing? Why are you setting yourself up? Like, and you always find an angle and you are very respectful until I guess something gets said and they don't like it. And of course it's your show. And listen, my hands always go down to people who can handle viewers.
Yeah.
I can't do it. I can't do it. And I won't do it. They're like, Tasha, can you please do a call-in show? No, because I'm going to cuss y'all ass out. It's a wrap. So my hands go down. But I remember the first time like you actually went like super viral was you telling the girl that she's an average 5. Now, I remember, I believe it was the Discovery Channel. They did a documentary on, I don't know if you remember it. I can't remember the name. I was trying to find it for the show. But they actually did like a dating pool. Like, and Ricky like did something similar back in the day. Like a woman, she said, hey, I want to meet a dentist. I want to meet a man with some money. And they said, well, first of all, you have to be around men with money. You can't just say, oh, I'm in the projects. I want a guy with money. Well, the only guys in the projects with money sell dope.
There you go.
Okay, so that's what you're going to be exposed to. And so as you move up in life, as you mature, okay, there are certain circles that you want to get in and you have to act apart.
Right.
And so I mean, as hard as it is, and I know it's embarrassing, and I know a lot of women, they get embarrassed because they're out. Your platform's big. Yeah. It's huge. And congratulations on that.
Thank you.
I know the haters can say what they want to say, but you sitting there.
Right.
You built that.
Right.
So, going live, you're consistent, you're disciplined. But I mean, I think it's absolutely refreshing to see someone, and this is the reason why you've grown so much, tell the absolute truth.
Can I share something with you?
Absolutely.
So that infamous call, which is infamous by no stretch of the imagination for several things, but I woke up because I had another woman that I talked to on Instagram, and we were doing this whole you kind of overvaluing yourself kind of thing. And I found this was at the bottom of one of my comments section, and the woman basically said, I'm 33 and I got a 10-year-old son, and me and my ex have been separated for 7 years, but watching your platform and videos religiously made me realize some things that I can be doing better. And now me and my husband are working on getting back together.
Oh, wow.
And see, that's the stuff that people don't see in the clip. They'll see that, oh, you're trying to say this to make her feel this way. No. And it didn't start off that way, honestly. Mm-hmm. It got down to that path.
No, I saw the entire clip and I was agitated for you.
Well, and the thing is...
Because I was like, girl, click off. What are you doing?
Well, and the thing is, it's like, it's okay to want what you want, but we're not entitled to anything. And if you're demanding something more than you are, that's fine. But the people who want that have something too. It didn't get to be contentious. But see, what happens more than often than anything else is starting a conversation, because for the longest time, men haven't felt free to say anything because they'll get shouted down, cussed out, canceled. I mean, needless to say, after that clip, that's when all the heat really started, because they're like, oh, who is this to say that, such and so forth.
Well, people, I mean, they took that clip and they were angry. I must admit, when I first saw it, I was like, damn.
Oh, yeah.
But then I had to go back and watch the entire clip, and I was just like, she was really being condescending. You know, she was, and you know, I'm a woman, I can say it. Right. You know what I'm saying? And I know you sometimes want to say more, and out of respect for, you know, certain people's situations, you back off and you just, you know, you stick to.
I do my best.
Yeah.
Sometimes I try to, and I had a call last night, and the young lady said, you know,
excuse me.
I wish we could help to moderate this message a little bit more for my generation. I'm like, well, if you look from where I was a year ago, I've moderated quite a bit because, one, I don't treat everybody the same. I can have a horrible call and then I'll go woosah and re-engage because you got to keep on moving.
That energy, I don't see how you handle that every call.
Well, I come from a background of corporate sales and, you know, and you deal with a lot of rejection. Yeah. I mean, my job was to get told no 48 times a day. And then you have to realize that, one, you can't take it personal, because oftentimes it's not you, number one. Number two, my goal, I go into all this stuff with good faith. I really am trying to help people get what it is they say they want. Now, is it always possible? Don't know. I mean, but when people have gone back into my catalog and seeing how I spoke the same way to men. Actually, I was more direct with guys. It's just that we're not accustomed to seeing. We're accustomed to seeing you do no wrong, think like a woman, think like a man, act like a lady. We're not accustomed to any kind of pushback in our community. And that may make people feel good, but I'm looking at the outcomes, both my male clients and my female clients. I have women who are like, I want to get married, I want to have a husband and this and that. And I'm like, all right, but you're all looking for the same handful of men, and you overlook guys who are over here because you feel like you're up here.
Well, those are women to me, and I was talking to one of my show producers about this today. I think those are women that want to be affirmed by other women.
Okay.
So they get a man that's of status. Okay. Oh, yeah. He has his own money. And it's kind of like, oh, look what I got. Because I'm going to be honest with you. I have family members. I have friends. They are label happy. They are car happy. The biggest, most nicest house. And who are they doing it for? Other women. And sometimes when they do get those men of status, they don't know how to, I guess, participate in a relationship, having kids and trying to balance and trying to impress everybody. And I'm like, where do we get so aesthetic versus looking at someone's character? Like I come from, I'm a country girl.
Right.
I gotta feel you spiritually.
I think it happened.
Not church. Right, I'm just saying.
Right.
Like
I think it happened late 90s, early 2000s when Big Mama died. When Big Mama died, that entire generation was gone. And it's always nice to want things, but you know, my generation, Generation X, the men were told to be a softer group of men, and the women were told to go get your education, don't worry about no man. So a lot of sisters in the 90s were in corporate America with these jobs. In Atlanta 20, 30 years ago, this was a completely different place. This is like, if you want to be black and corporate and established, but the thing we weren't doing is we weren't learning how to do it with one another.
It was very competitive, and it was kind of like the, what do you call it? The house versus the field.
Well, and the thing is, companies realized that they threw, the black men and black women were in the same corporations. They got they put us into competition with one another. And this is why I say I don't fault our generation, because we were given half information. Mm-hmm. So in our generation, men and women were literally pitted against one another. I see the outcomes of all that, because every other group can have their different classes, their country, their this or that, but everybody else can seem to link up. We just can't seem to link up longer than short term.
It's real. You know, I've never shared this with anybody. I'm going to get dragged right now for saying this, and even my husband drags me for saying it. I, for a long time lost faith in my American Black man, mm-hmm. because what I grew up around, what we were dating, coming from where I came from, the options available to me, it was just like, I can't see myself being a baby mama, worried about, where he's at while I'm out trying to, mm-hmm. work and better myself. And so for me, I went out the country. Mm-hmm. Like, I wanted someone with a stable background. You know what I'm saying? And I think sometimes with our Black women, they follow trends.
Yes. we Black folks are some of the most media susceptible on the planet.
I was just talking about this today. Like, you can see one person with a pair of Jordans, everybody will go buy the same Jordan.
1954, Time Life made a video. It's still on YouTube. How to Sell to the Negro.
Oh.
Audience, go watch it. And they talked about the psychology of Black folks to the new emerging class. And it was really a pitch for Ebony Magazine. This is how they wanted to sell to us. We're a consumer class. So, and this is why I say that as much as people watch me now, I hold men to a high standard, because, like it or not, we failed. We failed in the sense of this. One, we have failed to control our image. Meaning, there's a lot of stuff against all of us. But I can give Black women credit for one thing. Black women will advocate for their image. Black men have, and because men in general, we're not the more social of the crew. We just kind of like a lot of men in the late 80s, early 90s. Mm-hmm. They were going to corporate America doing whatever. But then when Cops and America's Most Wanted and stuff was all over TV, it was like, well, that ain't me.
Right.
But yeah, it is, because it's a part of our ethnic image. It tainted the way people looked at Black men as a whole. It
did. And I was a little girl. Mm-hmm. Being tainted.
Yes.
Until I got older and got mature and was like, that mm-hmm. was really fucked up.
So this is why for the first years I said, look, man, like it or not, you got to understand that we are the most media susceptible people in this country. We never had a chance to be separated from anybody from chattel slavery. We got a lot of issues as a people, but no matter how jacked up the dating situation may be, men still have to do their part to be competitive. And here's one thing: in the last 20 or 30 years, Black men have taken on more of the challenge, to where 51% have made themselves single and childless, and 64% in the middle class. That's a big change from 20 or 30 years ago. But the problem is, the media message hasn't changed.
Yeah.
And it's not women's responsibility to change the media message. It's our responsibility to change the media message as Black men. That's why I'm one of the biggest champions for Black male media run by Black men for Black men, because we have to rehab our image in our eyes, in your eyes, in the world's eyes, because, like it or not, ain't nobody coming to save us. And as far as we're separated over here and over there and warm between one another, we keep funding the economy and keep spending our dollars. So, like, people got paid on Friday, can be broke by midnight. That's our community. And I don't fault women for losing faith, because I listen to my mother mm-hmm. and her sisters. And you want to know, Friday, Saturday night, the Ripple, you needed a cigarettes. And
he ain't shit. He down there fucking with you. I'm just telling you, I know this shit.
Woman come knocking on your door, coming with I got stories.
Yeah.
So I get a lot of pushback saying, well, you do this, you do that. I'm like, I understand. But the problem is, at the end of the day, we got to end up realizing Black men are where we are, Black women are where we are. How can we get the majority of us to sit down at the table in good faith and say, okay, how can we work this out? How can we? And it's going to take us having a conversation, one-to-one. And I think my show, if anything, it's really just, all I do, Tasha, is sit down every night and just talk to people.
Could you bring together a round table? Have you thought about expanding and doing that? Mm-hmm.
I've actually
and actually let them converse, and then you step away and just facilitate and let people see exactly what it is that you're saying.
I mentioned in the format I'm moving towards in my show where I do a monologue. There's going to be an interview segment. Then a place called Middle Ground, to where I want to have people, men and women, come and sit and talk, whether in studio or virtual, and then I kind of moderate the discussion.
Okay.
Because, I don't need
I may have to cut this part out of the interview because I don't want nobody taking your idea.
Well, I mentioned it on my show before.
Oh, you have? Okay. I just want to make sure because I'm going to tell you, the concepts of my show have wound up on linear.
Well,
so
here's the thing.
And as one sister to a brother.
Yeah.
I'm putting you up on game.
They will steal.
They do it. So.
But ultimately, it's about expanding the conversation past me. It's getting to us. And it's having that effect because, like I mentioned, my Facebook group. I have a Facebook group.
Okay.
And in this Facebook group, what I did is I said, all right, men should be confident, intelligent, and assertive. That's my little tagline. And women should be feminine, beautiful, inspirational. I just asked them baseline questions. How old are you? Where do you work? What's your relationship status? What kind of relationship do you want with a male or a female, a man or a woman? And I just hand selected groups, black men and black women who applied to be in the group. In under 6 months of that group being together, 8 couples got together in 3 engagements.
Wow. So you're matchmaking too.
Why
don't nobody put that out?
Because it's not hot. There are 2 videos on YouTube right now. One is Kevin Samuels is the reason I'm engaged. And there's a sister who called into my show in July. And I told her, gave her my advice, don't go to Spain, stick with your man. Mm-hmm. And she went to Spain, but she said that idea germinated and ended up, she got engaged in Aruba in January. Then there's a brother, a high-profile attorney down in Dallas, brother Dennis Burton. Shout out Dennis. Brother is an 8-figure brother. He was done with American black women. He was ready to move out of the country.
We all get frustrated. I've been there.
And I said, hey, Dennis, join my group. And he's like, yeah, whatever. Inside of a week, he met his fiance.
Really?
And he made
now, how long have you had this Facebook group?
I just put it together. I've had this Facebook group for about 9 months now. But what I'm
those are the people that you have to bring on your show.
And that's the next step of it, because when I first started seeing this happen, and I asked myself a question, I'm like, wait a minute, where are all the relationship and matchmakers and all this other kind of stuff? Mm-hmm. Because if you can just put men and women in a group and just let them interact, now from that group, women are having ladies of the mix. They're having mixers, teas. I check in on them, and it is a thriving community.
Well, that's what happened. See, and that's what I was trying to say with Discovery. They did research and focus groups on putting people from different backgrounds in a room and found that they did have common interests despite where they come from, what they've been through, despite their salaries, where they are in life. And so to me, and Ricky Lake did a show on that a long time ago. I'm a huge Ricky Lake fan. Right. That's when I wanted. I was like, yeah, I'm going to be a talk show host one day. Oprah too. But yeah, she, women from small towns, women that, had no, I would say, hadn't developed couth yet or class, she put them in environments with doctors and lawyers, and what do you know? They found
that's it.
And that's generally what it is making sure that your surroundings mimic what it is that you're trying to attain.
And the whole premise of that group was, look, this is a men's group, but the women are invited. And some of the ground rules is they don't discuss anything really, don't bring something you saw on Twitter in here. There are places out there, but this is where men were going in there to network, connect with one another. And women were sitting back just watching how the men moved. And from time to time, I would check in with the women and say, what would you like to see more in the group? But really, it was just this. I brought men and women together on a Facebook group in good faith because they know that I was picking everybody. And I didn't know these people. And I just put them in the same place. And nature took its course. I'm like, well, wait a minute. If that can happen in this group, now understand, none of these people lived in the same city. One brother was in Atlanta. His fiance is in Boston. One brother's in Houston. His Ivy League wife was all over the place. And we're talking about people finding each other in a short time. So that gave me a hope and saying, well, wait a minute. I knew that the reason I started talking to women is because my male clients are saying, I want to find a wife. I want to have a legacy. Where are all the women? We need a more good faith way to have the men and the women who want the same kind of things just be able to sit down in good faith and have the conversation and let nature take its course. And I think that's what the show has done more than anything else. It's allowed for us to have conversations.
What's the name of this Facebook group?
It's called The Mix.
Okay.
It's called The Mix.
Okay. Let me hop in there. I ain't looking for nobody.
And see, and
I don't want them with no rumors on it.
And the funny thing is, when I did it, they were like,
yeah,
you should start a matchmaking agency.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well.
They do. That's heavy out here in Atlanta.
And the thing is, what it really showed me is that as bad as the media message we've been getting as Black folks, we're not that. We're no different than anybody else. Men need to feel this way, women need to feel that way. And if you get those basic things, people can tend to get together. So the kind of stuff like that will never make it to the blogs or this or that because it doesn't get clicks.
It doesn't. And see, that was going to be, I'm glad you're so honest with that because people don't understand at the end of the day, this is a business.
Oh, yes.
Okay. And in order for me to get my actual message out there, I may have to feed you a little bit of this shit.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Respect the game. It is what it is. And y'all like it because if you didn't, you wouldn't click on it.
Yeah. And I'm going to say this, that when I had like 10, 12,000 subscribers before I even discovered Black YouTube, as it were. And then like the Black manosphere and all these other people, I was like, this is a whole new world. And when I
don't get caught up in it.
Well,
stay on your chair.
Well, yeah. Well, the funny thing is, I came in there in my very corporate button up.
Yeah.
My presentation was trash. I was corny. I was unrelatable. I had a brother. O'Shea actually told me, bro, he's like, man, I love what you say, but you mad corny, you're unrelatable. He's like, relax. And then as I would meet guys, they're like, man, you're tall, you're funny, you gotta let that go. But in corporate America, you're used to being
a one way.
So when I said, you know what? Let your hair down, as it were. Yeah, and by the way, on that, since y'all want to talk about me in my high school picture, that's my natural hair. They said it was a Jerry curl.
That part.
Oh, they're like, you got a Jerry curl. I'm like, no, that's my natural hair. He got good hair.
But I was going to tell you, because I want you, you should feel comfortable in the space you're in. And I don't want you to let these haters, because they will sometimes make you second guess yourself. Like, am I? But at the same time, like, I remember when I started in radio, I was just DJing and I was talking about health and wellness. And I wanted to educate my Black people. They would not fucking listen.
Right.
My show got canceled. They said, fuck this. We're not listening to eating no greens and drinking no smoothies and exercising and shit like that. They didn't want to hear it. So when I started doing the stuff that I used to do with my friends and my aunt, my big mamas and shit, telling everybody business in the neighborhood, telling the truth to people.
Then slide in some olive leaf.
That's what I do. It takes off. It takes off. And if people you say you grew up, you're a country boy, Oklahoma, you know what I'm saying? You grew up around all women. I grew up around my big mama. My aunt had both of her legs amputated from eating rice and gravy and pork chops and shit every day. Shit I won't even touch now. And so there's always a method to the madness. And whatever you got to do to get into that space.
Right. Which is crazy because, Black men in code switching, Black people in code switching. But by doing that, it effectively, I'm in World Star. How crazy is a Black man who's an image consultant on World Star Hip Hop? I walk around, I'm trending in hip hop. I'm like, that's weird because that's not what it was, but that's how broad and diverse of a people we are. But it works to get the message out.
Black people put entertainment moguls on. We are the gatekeepers. And so if you can pass with us, off you go to mainstream.
There you go. And see, my thing was, I was like, all right, well, I knew I wasn't going back to corporate America. And I knew that what I was saying ultimately was to help men get what they want, which was they wanted women. So it's like, all right, well.
They better.
Well, you know what I mean? They were wanting to get married and kids. And it's funny. It's like, all right. So mix a little bit of entertainment in this. And it's no different than I've been in my entire life. So it's like, it works. And it's funny that that's what draws more people in there. Like, man, you're funny, you're hilarious. And I'm like, it's an ability, but it's still the same message.
Well, I can't forget who said this, but you know, our people, they want to laugh.
Oh yeah.
They want to drink. They want to have a good time. This wine shit. I mean, I love wine, but I ain't drinking wine every day. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's only when I got a show because I'm watching my health. But for you, it's like I see all of the negative, and the reason I didn't take a hold to that is because I know what it's like for somebody to take a piece of your show and make it all about. I mean, they will formulate their own opinions, groups, coalitions.
My God.
On Republican parties. You know what I'm saying? Like
Clubhouse,
trying to. Yes. So I know exactly what it is. And that's why I extend grace to all of the creators, because at the end of the day, we are creators.
Yeah.
You have an audience. If you did not have an audience, you wouldn't have an audience.
Well, I've seen, you know, like I said, I watched people before I blew up. And I studied YouTube from the advertising side because I came from the advertising and sales side. So I knew this is part of the game, but then black media is different because if you don't think you're gonna be exposed or doxxed or whatever, you ain't paying attention. And if you're not ready for that, because that's just the current state. Hopefully, it won't be the future state, but that's the current state. You have to have a really thick skin and let a lot of stuff grow up. People been calling me gay since ever.
I was gonna say,
I'm like,
Dave branded you as gay so much that when you walked in, I expected to see a feminine man. I did not see that. I was just like, you are tall, you're put together, you're handsome. Okay, and let me tell you, my gaydar is strong.
Right. See, the thing is,
because when I was 21, I got caught in Atlanta. They better be careful.
Right. Well, see, one of the things I say, people got to realize if they really thought I was gay, they wouldn't be attacking me.
That is, if you want the best way to disarm a black man to question his credibility, call him gay.
That's it.
That's the easiest thing to do. They attack my husband. Well, he's got to be gay. Date her. She's loud. She's black. She's, you know what I'm saying?
Well, the thing is, and I've, like I said, taking the phone now in the 80s. Look, the 80s was wild. Yeah. Dr. Dre had glitter gloves on. I'm like, yeah. I started.
Look at Prince.
Larry Black.
And that's a pretty motherfucker.
And I look and I said, and that's one of the reasons I didn't take a lot of pictures in the 80s because it was a wild time. But I'm like, it's the same few insults. And the thing is, what they never say is you're wrong or it's like, we don't like this about you. And the thing is, all right, you want to say this, you're gay. You ain't never seen no pictures of me with no man, kissing nobody, no nothing.
I was going to say, now listen, everybody bring me everything.
You know they look. You know they look.
Now, if I've seen something on you, trust me, I'll present it right here. But I'm not in the business of outing nobody. I think people should live their life, whether they're bisexual, gay, straight. That's your business. Well, however, I did want to say, of course, I have a job to do. So if it ever presents itself, I will give you a courtesy call.
Of course. Of course.
I was like, Kevin.
Well, and see, let's talk about that.
Yeah.
See, that's part of the business.
Yeah.
I respect what you have to do. So I'm like, I don't know why you expect to get popular and you don't think you're gonna get pushback and you're gonna get from the gospel site, the news site. When I used to do advertising and PR, I would get the call and say, we need to either get ahead of this, or you think you're gonna freeze these people out. The worst thing you do is don't talk to somebody who buys ink by the barrel. Oh, you don't want to sit down and talk to them? Let them make their own story then. I'm not going to be your PR.
Right.
I'm not going to be your PR person because I'm not going to handle that fire. But let me go ahead and say this. I'm not gay. I'm not gay.
Look at the camera.
I'm a fashionable guy. I've always been fashionable. But see, in my business and style, I've always been a stylish guy.
I can tell you this. I don't think our people are used to seeing a black man dressed and presented as well as you. Now, when I travel, because I am very well traveled, I've been, well traveled since I was 10. The men overseas always caught my eyes, especially the black men that were dressed very nice. I never liked a guy with his pants hanging down.
Right.
I mean, I was just, what was it? I was parasailing the other day. Guy had his pants down. You saw a shit stain right there in the back. I said, oh my God. Oh my God. And he almost fell into me. And I was like, God, no, not today. Like, and I'm just like, you see men that are well put together. And I just don't think that our people are used to it. Because I remember I went live in Paris one night. And they were like, all those black people are embarrassed. And I'm like, yeah, you should see the men too.
Well, that's one of the problems I hold as a black man. We have to take our image because I think of Sidney Poitier. I look back in the 60s. I dressed like Martin. Well, everybody's still evolved. So as an image consultant, there are like all these different style personalities. And like anything else, when you come into your own style, that's why you may have seen pictures before where I got colors and plans. I was in a different style personality. But now I've really settled into what is my look. And that's why you typically see the same stuff over and over again. But black men have to be able to be fully human, fully expressed. And that's our responsibility to be able to dress in your joggers and your Jordans or your suit and it be the same across the board. Yeah. And that's why I take it on because calling me gay ain't nothing. They've been calling me gay since I was in high school. Long eyelashes.
But you were married 3 times, right? Twice? Okay.
My high school sweetheart and then
oh yeah. You still said it like she's still your sweetheart.
I still have a lot of respect for her. She's the mother of my child.
You'll still hit that if you saw her?
Yeah. She's married. She's married. But
no, you like, hey,
but I'm very proud of I have one child.
Oh, okay.
And I do just like, you do the level best to keep all that stuff to the side. But
yeah. Well, I mean, I put all my shit out on Front Street because, I mean, I knew the lane I was like, look, this is what it is. Oh, you picked the gossip lane. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it was always something I did. And, I mean, I did it at work, working at, our backgrounds are similar. Military brat, working in advertising and sales. I transitioned into radio and stuff. And then the restaurant industry always helped me to start my businesses. It's a lot of money out there. I be trying to tell black people. They be thinking I'm a servant. I'm making $2,000 a week.
What if I told you get a job? I tell people to relocate and serve. It's a skill that never goes away.
Anything in sales, okay? Because you will be able to sell anything. Now look.
There you go. This is stuff I preach on my channel.
I tell people I sell snow to an Eskimo. Shit, I be like, you ain't had this type of snow, okay?
Right.
This is sweet.
So it's like my personal life. The women I deal with, I keep them away from social media as much as possible. When I did the No Jumper podcast, I went in there with a lady friend of mine. He even mentioned it. But I'm like, because it's so vicious and the light is so hot right now.
Yeah. They will tear her to shreds. They will call her job.
And I made it very clear. If you want to deal with me, understand that I won't keep you way, way, way over here. But if you want to be primary, if and when I do announce a relationship, trust me, I will have as much of an insulation around that person as possible because you know what comes with it.
Yeah. I mean, I think for you, because you are dating women around your age, I take it.
I date a broad variety of women.
Okay.
no, usually I date women.
The older they get, the more understanding they are. They understand a woman that is about her money understands that this is a check, okay? So I was going to ask, are they kind of insecure with all of, because you have a lot of women. I don't think you talk about this. The women that are seeking this consultation, be honest. Because listen. You can't tell me they ain't trying to get no Kevin Samuels dick. And I'm not saying that because listen, you're a very attractive guy. But I'm just saying when a woman is seeking validation from another man, in the words of Steve Harvey,
there ain't no friends.
Ain't no friends. I don't even know why they dragged him like that because I'm like, I was in the barbershop. My brothers put me on early, okay? Really? Oh my God. Like when I say I heard all of the shit, they talk to me like, listen, this is how we think, this is how we act. You know what I'm saying? If I brought around a dude, that's a fucking right there. They would tell me straight up and I listened to them. But I was in a barbershop like last week in the haircut, because, right. And I asked them, I said, so if y'all were all in the room, being that y'all are married in a relationship, and you was in the room with a beautiful lady, your wife ain't around, would you smash? I kid you not. It was about 12 guys in there. None of them said no.
And see,
that is they think you guys think with your dicks
well, it's like I said, high value men. That's a term. That high value is not my term, by the way. It's been around. I just kind of put a framework around it. Yeah. When Bill Gates came out with Melinda and his side piece.
Yeah.
So I'm like, guys, this happens.
So, I was really thrown off like that because I was like, no shade to the autism community, but Bill Gates autistic and got a side bitch.
Hey man,
wow,
Bill got billions. So like the women I deal with, first of all, they watch my show, so they know what I say, and I say what I think.
Did you meet some of them watching your show? Okay.
Well,
So you got a few that you, and they okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well,
Listen, I saw a reality show. It was a Kenyan man. He had like 6 wives. And it was the most beautiful shit I had ever seen. My husband comes from, he's Muslim. His dad got 3 wives. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't, he's not interested in a lifestyle like that. That was something we talked about very early before we, got serious. But I've seen women coexist. And I see it now with my mother-in-law, with my aunts, and it works. Like, they're like sisters, and they have each other's babies, and they all cook, right. And they go.
For me, when I decide, I've never cheated. You mark it down, write it. I've never cheated.
Never.
Ever.
Your high school sweetheart?
Never.
Emotionally cheated?
Of course. Emotionally cheated. I like beautiful women.
Okay.
I'm a flirt.
Okay.
But I've had women, I've told the story, they know, to where a woman was like, I want you even more because you don't. But when I'm with you, I'm with you. But I understand maybe that's going to be different now, because that's one thing when you just... where you are now, women are everywhere. So any woman I deal with, the question about, I have to be with a secure woman because I get a lot of attention. And then there are women who are wanting to book consults, such and so forth, but I don't shit where I eat. If you book a session, we're going to talk business. I was going to tell
you that, because in the creator, I bring up even Storm. I'm like, you fuck the subscribers, you're done.
I just did a video talking about dick discipline. I don't play. I don't play with my money, Tasha.
That's good.
So that's why I said, when I say something like that on camera, I know you pull up, go get all the damn receipts you want. I ain't never cheated on nobody, because that's stupid.
Yeah.
And if I'm going to be with somebody, and if there's going to be any outside stuff, we better have a conversation first. But that's just not been my thing. Mm-hmm. Now, going forward, when I decide to get into a one-on-one committed relationship with one person, there's a lot of forethought and planning, because all this stuff that surrounds us is a thing to deal with.
And it's going to be hard. I feel for the men in the space that you're in, whether it's being a public figure or whatever, because, don't get me wrong, like, as a woman, my DM is full of, like, dick pics. that shit don't turn me on. I'm
right.
not, women, I don't understand why men don't, think about that. Like, that's not what attracts me. But for y'all open up your DMs. What's the worst, okay, not the worst picture, what's the most shocking DM you've gotten thus far?
Oh. Well, the latest one is from somebody who has a blue check mark on Instagram. Basically asking me to treat her like my slut. Beat me, whip me, spank me, be my daddy.
Oh my God.
And I'm like,
what's the initials?
I'm like, you got a check mark like that?
My gosh.
So here's the funny thing. It's like,
listen, to all the men out here, listen, watch your women, the women that are mostly talking shit about him.
That's like, you call me gay, leave your girl around me, see what
listen, I'm old school. Like, my mama told me, look, my big mama, my mama, they said, listen, the first thing a man point out on a woman, that's the first thing he'll fuck. Mm-hmm. And it's vice versa with women. When a woman points out, oh, he look like, that'd be the first bitch to spread her legs.
So like, to deal with a man with a high profile, that's going to be a woman who basically, you have to be a political wife, because there's a certain amount of stuff that you're going to have to just understand that I got to go do what I got to do. Mm-hmm. So let's say I do have a girlfriend or a wife in the future. And there are people who want to, hell, I love to watch the show. I got to go take a picture or do this or do that. And if you're insecure, I can't be with an insecure woman, because I can't be arguing with you all the night. Did you do this, do that? I got work to do.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong. I know most celebrity men, they are very free.
But you better have some discipline with your freedom.
Yeah, most of them, they got the kind of money where they don't have to.
See,
they don't have to. It's like, you tripping, I can go over here.
My thing is, like, when Bill came out, that was gangster. They came out with the statement saying, this is how we've been rolling, y'all ain't even known about it. I was like, that's what I'm talking about. See, if you're going to do that, don't mess up with the brand. First off, I say, if you're going to do that, no outside kids, no diseases, don't embarrass your woman, don't mess with the brand. Mm. And if you're dealing with somebody, and you better get that understood up front, and it would be best to get your woman's approval. And if not, you better realize that you got more on the line than just a good time. And if you get that all kind of worked out, if she gets out of line, first off, you better pay her off and take care of her and make sure it stays quiet.
She said pay the bitch off.
Yeah. Because I mean, trust me right now.
A lot of men fall from women. I tell them, listen. And
remember Michael and Juanita? When Michael, you never heard any scandals. Michael decided they wanted a divorce. You didn't hear nothing because Juanita got broke off. Hey, look, man, she's your wife. She invests. She
even
earns.
Jordan's wife.
She came out afterwards, though, didn't she?
Yeah, I mean, it still wasn't juicy enough.
Right.
You know, she had that shut the fuck up money. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and that's smart because he got that brand. I'm like, look, and that's how I think in order to make money and have wealth and do the things we need to do, we got to start moving with a little bit more discipline. We don't have to be holier than now, but if you're going to do these kind of things, make it to where it don't hurt you as much as it can be. And let's just say it does come out. Let's say you got a mistress on the side and you got to shut the fuck up money. You better make a phone call and say, hey, look, Tasha, I got some news to tell you.
Yes.
See what about to happen see what happened was. Here's the statement, here's the publicist, and I'd like to sit down and have an interview. You got in front of that shit.
And you know what's so funny? You'll be surprised who calls me up. I'll send them an email, hey, this is what I got. Sometimes they don't believe me. You know, that's what happened with the last guy. He was calling me a liar up until he got into that Patreon and was like, you know what, let me sit my ass down. You know what I'm saying? Even though I already knew what he was about. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, let me ask you this. Let me change the subject for a second. Do you feel that there's any woman in your life that can really come out with some shit to shut the internet down about you? And it dirt. And it's
nothing else other than just human failings.
Okay.
But it's nothing that I've
like talking about maybe a sex game. You know what I'm saying?
She could be able to say his sex was trash. Okay. Maybe to her it was.
Okay.
But I'm no different than anybody else. But most of the women I deal with are married.
What?
I'm now married.
Oh, I thought you said married.
No, I'm sorry. Scratch, pause, rewind. My relationships, first off, I never really try to leave on bad terms with anybody.
Okay.
So there's no reason to want to do that. And it's like, well, why would you want to interrupt your happy marriage and your happy home to do that? Because it's like, why? I mean, and if somebody did come out and say, oh, his sex game is trash, Dick Little, he's stupid, what am I going to say? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I just did an interview a couple of weeks ago. She was talking about the man like to be punished through the ass.
Oh, now see that kind of no, now, and see.
So you ain't got no type of fantasies.
Let me go ahead and answer that question. See, I've had women asked to do that kind of shit before, but I don't roll like that. I don't even like to get
we'll ask you that to test you to see if you like that shit. So to tell us,
I appreciate
so they actually doing you a favor. You know what I'm saying?
So there will be no, I paid Kevin and this and that. No, ain't nothing. If you do, we're gonna hook you up to a polygraph. Cause no. No, I don't even like a doctor touch me there. So that's why I like when they call you gay. I'm like, y'all don't understand. I love beautiful women. Yeah. But I let it go.
It's because I think that you keep your private life private. You know what I'm saying? And you're not flaunting it over, like trying to profit off of having a relationship. Because a lot of shit out there, like the reason my husband and I last so long, he doesn't like the limelight. He doesn't like, being seen. He doesn't need validation or anything like that. And so for his thing, like, you do your thing. I'm running all this. Because honestly, I'm just talent in this motherfucker. My team run everything. But when it comes to you, though, see, here's the thing. They are waiting so bad. Because they've asked me, Tasha, I know you got some dirt. I said, listen, the shit that I had on old boy, that came to me. I don't go looking for this type of shit. If people think that I'm just emailing your ex-wife or your kid, I don't do that type of shit.
See, with me, I've never really lived life to where I've done anything to somebody that she want to come back. Unless we've all had.
So you've never done anything like crazy. You ain't never had no Alex Jones fetishes, because you remember when Alex Jones was tearing up them damn politicians, they found on his phone transgender porn. It was bad. And then they took his ass on the internet. He was hiding behind a bush.
That's why he's gone?
Yes. No. Well, no, he's gone because of the fake news and him, rallying coalitions to go against the government. But they did assassinate his character before they took him down, which was, I mean, we did see him scrolling and it was actual transgender porn. I was like, oh, and next thing you know, his YouTube is down. He filming from behind a bush, talking about they trying to get him.
Well, and see, that's why I never try to hold myself out as being any better than anybody else. Okay. I never try to say, be like me. Yeah. I've said, I've messed up. I make mistakes all the time. I ain't perfect. I don't try to hold myself out as anything other than a guy just giving his opinion. Mm-hmm. So, but I know that there's a lot of folks who are like, we just got to find something. And I'm like, why do we have to do that?
You're in the limelight. You're subject to everyththing that a politician.
And that's what it's going to be.
Yeah.
So I take it with a grain of salt because, I'm hot right now, and it's always like, well, let's go try to find this thing. It's like, all right, well, maybe I'm just what I say I am. I'm a guy who works a lot and just has an opinion.
Most people who do have opinions and don't try. See, the thing about you're personable. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? You do share a lot of what you've gone through. But when it comes to other influencers that are trying to be in a real lane like you, mm-hmm. and they're not showing their wife.
Right.
You understand? I ain't saying no names for a reason. You know what I'm saying? And they're purposely telling everybody this is what they need to know without people asking. Those are the people that you need to watch. But somebody that's upfront telling you, like, look, you can go to Oklahoma, you can ask people about me, I'm from this place, mm-hmm. Has nothing to hide. And I think the mere fact that you actually have the audacity to have an opinion mm-hmm. and stand behind it is something that is just so catastrophic to the internet these days that they're just looking, cancel.
Well, look, I came in.
They can't cancel me. I told them.
Well,
cancel your mama, cancel your debit card. You can't cancel me.
I watched it. And see, the thing is, I'm like, when I came on here, I said, this is my name. Mm-hmm. This is where I'm from. And I know my relationship history, so you're going to have to. I heard that they're gonna bring out his ex-girlfriend and this, and I'm
was like, that your ex-girlfriend talking or ex-wife? It was very, very vague.
See, and I want to keep this because
I know nobody give me
they're trying to find why are they pushing this hard though? Because what am I really saying other than the stuff that is true and not? That's why I do my show the way I do. I just sit down and I talk to people. I ain't finding nobody. I ain't going on nobody's Instagram pages. People call into the show and we just have conversations, real time, unedited.
So do you feel, because I think what gets lost, and I'm just speaking from someone that, like, I try to get a chance to watch your show as much as I can. Mm-hmm. I'm busy. But when I listen to the viewers or the patrons, it's more so, how can I put it? Oh, he's perfect.
Oh, no.
And I'm like,
not that.
My thing is, I've told one of my producers this. She says, "Oh, I want a man with money," and I told her straight up. I said, "Why do you want a man with money? Mm-hmm. Do you not want a man that's like honest? Do you not want a man that's like, I'm not saying spiritual like a Christian, but a spiritually connects with you, that mm-hmm. understands with you, a man that wants to travel." A man that wants to, rub your feet, but you want a man with money. Mm-hmm. And so I told her straight up, I said, men with money that know that women want them for their money, they want your pussy. Mm-hmm. It's an even exchange.
That's it.
And so you can't be like, oh my God, like, how dare you ask for what he's worked for? And you're bringing nothing to the table. So if you're bringing nothing to the table, especially if you don't understand what it's like to have money, mm-hmm. to have success, to know what it's like it's all on me, it can fail. Mm-hmm. Like, no, this is all you have to offer me, and vice versa for me. If I'm 40 right. and single and I see, a guy like, I ain't gonna do no Keisha Cole now. I ain't finna have no baby by him. You know what I'm saying? Right. But they may be young, they may be a little, faster in mm-hmm. certain things than, older men are. Of course, but I'm not finna make it into right. something that it's not, but it is what it is.
Well, and I think that being that direct, like when I did that show about men cheating, I'm like, this is what it is.
Oh, he is cheating.
Well, I think, and I said that's what it is. So a couple of things, two things I want to make sure I focus on. One, mm-hmm. you mentioned about expanding the conversation. Having a forum. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it ain't all about me. This is not come to Kevin and worship me. I really want a conversation to get started to have better outcomes for men and women.
I can still see you doing that.
So, and I think when people, because like I did a show last night on Instagram, and it was probably one of the least confrontational shows. 3 different conversations, and even women who normally say, "I normally can't stand you," but I saw a completely different side.
And they did that to me first.
So, when you start to see the other part of it, number one, number two, I purposely not overly tried to monetize this. You don't see me selling any courses, any books, any shirts, I just sit down and do my show.
You should.
Well, I will.
You got a whole platform to monetize as many ways as you want.
And that's the thing.
Get your motherfucking money.
But I also know our audience too, because, we're so used to somebody coming in and just trying to and just do it too quick. I'm like, look.
I was nervous about that.
Well, now I come from the sales side. I got no problem. I make it real clear.
But you don't want the audience to think.
Well, see, the thing is, I know the easy thing for folks to think is he's just a new wave preacher. He coming in and he's gonna try to hit my this, give me that, buy this, buy that, buy this book, buy this course, such and so forth. No, number one, I'm here for this reason. Number two, I'm going to do the work. And 3, when I do decide to monetize in like whatever the things that's going, I'll have credibility with the market to say, you know what? He should make his money because he's doing the work. And if you want to buy it or whatever, it's not great what you quit.
Listen, you've worked your whole life to get to the space that you're in. I'm going to be honest with you. There's going to be probably about 90% of your audience that's going to root you on to say, we would love to support you. I see how they cash app you. I don't encourage cash apps at all. Right. I say, please, YouTube takes the lots. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I mean, I see how they support you, and they won't mind funneling that into a book, something that's going to educate them and empower them. Your own suit line, eyeglass line. Like, there's so many ways that you can go with this, and I don't worry about what the fuck they're gonna say.
Trust me, I'm not worried about that. I want. Thing is, I didn't go looking for this, but it's something it's not being done right now, and I want to do it right.
Why don't you counsel men anymore?
I do. I don't. You mean when I don't talk to men on the show?
Yeah,
I do. But when I talk to men,
we need on the show.
There's a show coming up next week for men. But I have them on probably like once every 6 weeks because I did it for 3 years,
and it didn't click.
Well, no, I had this has only started since YouTube had live streaming and Google Hangouts.
That live stream put a lot of creators on.
Right.
It did. Yeah.
So when a lot of the live stream, so there's a lot of stuff on my channel that's private or unlisted or on Patreon. But start bringing on more men. What I'm going to start doing is bringing on more men that the kind of men that women say they want to be with. Let you hear from them, so it don't just sound like it's coming from the altar.
I'm trying to tell them shit. I know. Listen, I know my daddy's one of them.
So
listen.
So if it ain't just coming, so it doesn't need to just come from me. Like I'm on high and got all the answers. I don't. I'm a flawed person, and I try to stay very narrow in my lane. So when it starts coming to time to talk about investing or real estate or this and that, I'm gonna bring somebody else on, and I'm gonna sit down and take out my notepad. I don't need to be everything. But this little point in time, I want to take what I have right now, and I want to get insanely rich while helping everybody get what they want out of it.
Are you excited about your success?
Yes, it's just quick. It went so quickly. When I started YouTube, I said, all right, in my sector, the men's style sector, there are guys with 5, 6, 7 million subscribers and all these different lines of business. What would I do if I had that many subscribers? So I kind of started to look at my brand that way, but it went very slowly. But if you study YouTube, all it takes is a viral video.
That's it. You're on.
Like Mr. Beast. He's been on YouTube for 8 years. And for the first 5 years, he was nothing. Last year, he made $97.8 million. $1 billion business, giving away Teslas and everything else like that. And I'm like, okay. But those are sponsorship deals and this and that. So that's the next step for creators to get on to that level to where how you open the door, can you make an economy and a company behind you to employ folks to where we start understanding that we can do what we want to do if we're willing to put the work in. So, yeah.
I mean, people don't understand. It's a lot of sleepless nights. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't afraid to admit there's some days I did shows, no showers, because I was this is when I was by myself. Like, my husband was out working. Mm-hmm. You know, I had my kid at home. I had quit my job, and I said, I'm going to make this shit work. Mm-hmm. And I did not sleep. I was obsessed, and I was really, really driving. But now I have people to help me do that so that I'm not getting high blood pressure or going off on motherfuckers on the internet. You know what I'm saying? Like, the fuck you say about my work? Right. You know what I'm saying? So, but, excuse me, I got a sinus drip. My allergies are like really crazy. Right. But, it's, I know a lot of people were probably expecting me to like go in, but I'm like, I never go in on people when I'm interviewing them. I have a show for that. Right. And so I just wanted to get to know you and to introduce myself as a fellow creator because I know how it is. And like everything that I see you go through, I'm like, shit, that was just me last week. They was, you know what I'm saying? I think somebody just made a video. I'm not going to give them any credit, but I guess Dr. Umar came for you. Mm-hmm. Now, let me come for Dr. Umar real quick. Hold on. If you're going to speak on someone else, I really do need him to be able to provide honest answers about what he has going on. The Breakfast Club asked him about that school. He said he needed donations of about $300,000 and he wanted free HVAC and electricity. And that's all he needed to open the school. Okay. That's all he needed. That's what he told the Breakfast Club. And I was shocked that Charlamagne didn't go in. Okay. I was shocked that DJ Envy let him get away with that because I'm like, so if you get the free HVAC and you get the free electricity, say for instance, somebody like me wants to come in and say, hey, here you go. How you going to pay the teachers? Right. How you going to get desks? How you going to get chairs? How you going to get pencils? How you going to get school buses to get the kids to school? And you already asking for donation money now. Now schools, if he did it right, are funded by the government. Tweak your paperwork a little bit. You don't have to have no counselors. You don't have to give or recommend medication. But I'm just like, this has been too long. And if I really wanted to go there on him, I could. But somebody made a video and they inserted me into y'all beef. And I was just like, well, you ain't got no beef with him, but you know.
One thing that I've been kind of known for is I don't beef.
You don't?
I don't. People come after me and I got a lot of people coming after me right now.
That's your age. Mm-hmm.
I don't beef, and the thing is, because most of the people come after me, I don't know them. Yeah. And you know, I will say that people will come onto my show and say, we don't like, it's not what you're saying, it's your tone. And then people come on saying, well, and I said, well, whose tone would you prefer? And there were several people who came up and said, speak more like him. And what I should have, and that was 3 or 4 different people. And what somebody did is they took a clip of a show that I did where I responded, and I should have responded in context saying that with the things that people have said about him documenting his past, if you accept him the way he speaks to you because he tells you what you want to hear, but the very things that you're trying to hold against me, it's because I'm not saying it. So it's really not the tone, it's the message. So I don't go back and forth. They can do what they want to do.
Yeah, people are just extremely sensitive. And I think he's a little bit jealous of what you've accomplished and the influence that you have, because he used to have that influence until he took advantage of it.
Well, and here's the thing. I believe that more likely than not, that most of the people who disagree with me, if we really sat down, we would probably agree on about 80% of that stuff. And see, that's what I'm talking about, the middle ground. All right, let's not talk about the 10 or 20% stuff we don't agree on. What do we agree on? What do we agree on? And let's see what we can do over on this side. Because the beefing and all that, especially between black men, we spend more time beefing than building. So go back all the way to the beginning where you said you lost faith in black men. Well, let's beef while we build. But if we building, we're going to be too tired to beef. Mm-hmm. And if we actually have a little enough good faith, like there are content creators who may not have understood me, and then they realize that, you know what, he's not bad. He might still beat of his own drum. And like I would say, especially like on the manosphere side, I got a lot of support from people who've been around a long time, who are credible. Like one of probably the most important and most influential men that you probably never heard about is a guy by the name of Obsidian. Obsidian.
I've heard of him, yeah.
That man is one of the most influential black men in black male media. No one knows about him, but he's like a gatekeeper, and he can spot talent and recognize things that we need. And I credit him for actually changing my point of view on a lot of things, because he said something years ago that I didn't understand. He said, the biggest problem in Black America is not racism, white supremacy. It's the sobering reality that Black men and Black women don't get along.
It's true.
And when he said it, I wasn't in a place to hear it. I was like, that can't be.
But it's true. It was so true.
But the more I started doing the barbershop talks and talking to my clients, talking to me, and started realizing, I was like, we really, because all I had to pull from was my relationship experience. But the more I started talking to a larger and larger audience and start really listening, and it's like, well, we need to talk about this, because if we really can't sit around as men and women and even like each other enough to where you think smiling at a brother is offensive, and you think treating her decent enough to open the door for her makes you a simp, where we gonna go? So I get the beef, I get all that other stuff, but more than anything else, we're all got a business to run, and can we come to a middle ground? There's a room for all of us, because everybody else on YouTube can become millionaires on the verge of being billionaires. We can too, if we're willing to find a way to work together. And where we don't work together, just stay out each other's way.
I was going to say, you have a very powerful niche. And I don't know if you know how powerful it is, because there are not, I can't really name any that look like us that are doing what it is that you're doing. And that's why you are being very welcomed into both mainstream as well as internet, digital media. And if you just continue to block out all of the bullshit, like you will be on linear television. You will. So because you're entertaining, you're very, how can I say it, charismatic. You know what I'm saying? Your energy is very pulling. You know what I'm saying? You don't feel overpowering. Like there's, people's energy to come in and you just, like Dr. Umar, it's like, wait, calm down. You know what I'm saying? You're not trying to be like overbearing. It's like, I'm just here. I'm just being me. And I really think that you are going to go exceptionally far,
That's the plan, because.
It is going to happen. So. And
that'll be the door that other people can come through. So that's why I think about the people who talk about canceling this and that. I'm like, if you just let it go, let it do what it's supposed to do, and you'll be surprised that the more folks that look like you and share your reflection or be employed by the things that are working on. We gotta quit canceling each other if we want to continue to move further. Because I said it before, when that video on World Star went more than 300,000 views, it stopped. Yeah, that wasn't about me. Most of this stuff ain't about me. It's about a moment in time and a conversation that we need to have in our community. I just happen to be the person that was sitting in their chair that took the phone call and facilitated. But I would never think that cult of personality is about, don't need it to be that
I mean, that particular clip, my thing is like, where did we as women get to a place where we had to state our status? I've been around millionaires, dope dealers. I have never had to say, this is what I do.
Right. Well,
men don't give a fuck.
Well, you grew up with a lot of men too. So.
Yeah, and when I tell you, you'll be surprised what stature of a man is fucking something down here that you feel is down here beneath you, because simply they're real. And so I know a lot of people say, oh, she's picking me, but I'm be honest, I've been married 15 years. Before then, I had other they could have led to marriage, but I was just like, I knew what was right for me.
Right.
And because both him and I are so honest with one another, I was going to tell you, he's like, listen, I'm a man. I don't put myself in situations to where we have issues. Like, there are men, like he has cousins, they go out, they look for situations. He's like, listen, I know I got a dick. I know it worked. But if I find myself in a situation, that's because I put myself there.
Dick discipline.
Right.
Dick discipline.
You need to do a series on that. And it's vice versa for the woman. Women find themselves in a situation with a man that has a nice talk, that can talk. And that's how they grab us. That's why you have a big audience, because you know your level of conversation is above the everyday man.
Right. And that's why you don't see a bunch of scandals about it. He's banging his subscribers and this and that. I'm like,
You could probably talk your way out of the situation. Like, look, don't go to don't do that. You don't want to do that.
I'm more like you need to sign this non-disclosure agreement. You take that check.
Let me tell you something. I don't put nobody in my circle on NDAs. You know why?
Right.
I talk to so many people that say fucking NDA.
Exactly.
So my team, I'm like, yeah, go ahead. Go do what you gotta do. But they, what you got?
NDAs don't hold up. If they don't fear the consequence.
It's so hard to sue somebody over an NDA. It's such bullshit.
So you better make a decision. Is it worth it?
Right.
Is it worth it? And the thing is, if you know why you're doing what you're doing, be honest with folks. Anything else, and anybody I deal with, I'm like, this is it. So if you want to go, knock yourself out.
Can we? I know you've talked about this before we wrap up, because I know we've been here for a while. I
gotta go to the plane to see my mom.
Okay, but look, last question, and you gotta go. Okay, plastic surgery.
Mm-hmm.
It is so profound now that I mean, I have friends that have. I mean, they're getting their eyes done, their cheeks done. Do you talk to your subscribers about this? Do men actually like?
No.
Because I know my husband tell me all day, I don't want that shit. I don't.
When I do this whole rating and evaluation, it's like, we like you in your natural state.
Okay.
Now you're seeing these waist trainers and these comically large butts, and most guys, especially talking about long-term girlfriend, wife, significant other, no.
I never really see them married.
No.
The only person that got married, but she got her surgery after she got married, was Tiny.
The men I know that don't, most men I know don't like that stuff because, and I think women kind of roundabout to what we said before, they're doing it for each other.
Yeah.
That's
the validation from, she looks good. Because I know when I put up my little body, they're like, your waist is too big. Bitch, I just had a baby and I ain't worried about my damn waist. Okay.
Exactly.
Yes, and I ain't never met a man that was, but
natural's best, lady.
But no, thank you so much for coming out. I know you have to catch a flight.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna go ahead and get you an Uber and get you onto the airport. I do appreciate you for giving me the opportunity. Hopefully, when you are on linear television and you see me next door,
there you go.
You'll come on over. So I'm very proud of you. I don't know if you hear
Shout out to the winos.
Yes.
I didn't see. I'm gonna go holler at Teddy in a minute.
Yes. But I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
And I don't know if you hear that enough from our people. And just keep being truthful and keep telling our sisters the truth. Lose them goddamn eyelashes, please. Lose them. The life looking like Snuffle Love. Lose all that shit and just be yourselves, okay? Right. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Please tell everybody. I know most people know where to find you, but just in case those that are new to you, please tell them where they can find you.
My channel is Kevin Samuels, my name. So if you just type it into the search engine, heck, if you just type it into Google right now, it'll probably pop up. But best version of yourself each and every day. Be you.
He is so incredibly fucking cool, okay? I expected some condescending,
hell no,
feminine asshole. And he came in like, I use the bathroom, I gotta... You're tall. Okay, you're good. Thank you. Thank you.
We're gonna get a 2-piece of the biscuit.
Yes. I had a chicken biscuit this morning. You're gonna find out
Chick-fil-A
about that shit. Chick-fil-A.
Oh, them shits is good.
I know, with the grape jelly.
Oh my God.
I know. My trainer, let me tell you, I paid him to cuss my ass out because that's exactly what he does.
It's a spiritual experience.
It is. Thank you. Just say, now you gotta go.
I gotta go. Bye.